what's a VLAN? When we create networks, and I'm going to do a small little drawing here on the side. I remember I told you that this network, even though it might be small, we still want to break this network down into smaller little chunks, smaller little areas which we call segments. I hope you guys remember that. The reason we do this is to increase the performance of our network. And the way that we do that is by having a little switch in each segment, and then of course connecting the switches together so that they can still communicate network wide. But by installing these little switches in these little areas, we basically create little segments where this computers in this little area will communicate a lot with one another. That little segment will be widely used. So is the third and the fourth. We could have the HR segment, the PR segment, the sales segment, so on and so forth. Now, this is how you create segments by using physical devices, a physical switch. Now, let's say, though, that you are a company and you don't have money to buy 4 switches, but you still want to do the same type of thing. You still want to do segments, you still want to do segmentation, but you only have money to buy 1 switch. So what we then do is we create virtual segments, also known as virtual LANs. So how we do virtual LANs is we basically create VLANs. We create VLAN 1, we can create VLAN 2, and let's say we have VLAN 3. And then what we do is we actually start assigning physical ports to these VLANs. So we say on VLAN 1, I'm going to add port 1, port 2, and port 3. And those 3 ports together is going to form VLAN 1. Okay. I've now actually did a little bit of mistake there, but it's fine. For VLAN 2, let's say we're going to add port 3, port 5, and port 8. Okay. Just showing you this so that you can see it doesn't have to be in sequence. And then for VLAN 3, we'll add port 4, because we haven't done port 4, port 6, and port 7 will then be VLAN 3. Okay. As you can see here, so also there's VLANs 1 and VLAN 2 also has the same port number. We can also do that. And then basically what happens is the computer will then actually say, okay, cool, port 1, 2, and 3, you will be a segment called VLAN 1 for the salespeople. Port 3, we use a different color here. Port 3, port 5, okay, and port 8. You will be part of VLAN 2. And then lastly, port 4, port 6, and port 7, you'll be part of VLAN 3. That's VLAN 2, that's VLAN 3, and that will be another segment. Okay, so by creating VLANs, I can basically create segments inside one switch. Okay, that's what VLANs are. I can go a little bit more advanced, and what I can do is I can have 2 switches, so switch 1 and switch 2, connect them together in something called a trunk port, and then I can have a VLAN that forms port 1, port 2, and port 3 from switch 1, and from switch 2 I can have port 1, port 5, and port 7, which means I can have a VLAN that spans multiple switches. Okay, by connecting these actual trunk ports. So that is VLANs.